This is Papya Datta, working as a lecturer in Devi Mahalakshmi Polytechnic College. Today I am going to take a lecture on ground wave propagation and sky wave. So first we will understand about what exactly a ground wave propagation is. So ground wave propagation is a type of radio propagation which is also known as a surface wave. So ground wave propagation uses the area between the surface of the earth and the ionosphere for transmission. So it is a method of radio wave propagation. These waves propagate over the earth's surface in low and medium frequencies. These are mainly used for transmission between the surface of the earth and the ionosphere. These are made up of the number of constituent waves. The reason why it is known as ground wave is that it is the sum of the waves that are reflected by the earth's surface or any hills. The waves follow the curvature of the earth, enabling them to cover beyond the horizon. Beyond the horizon, the waves get blocked by the curvature of the earth and the signals are produced by the diffracted surface wave. The waves which travel directly from the transmitting to the receiving antenna through the surface of the earth is called ground wave or surface wave, and the phenomenon is known as ground wave and sky wave propagation. The ground wave propagation is a mode of propagation of electromagnetic waves of longer wavelengths in which the ground has a strong influence on the propagation of waves from the transmitting antenna to the receiving antenna and waveguides over the surface of the earth. The ground wave is the wave strongly influenced by the earth's surface. We can divide the ground wave into three components: the surface wave, for which the earth's surface serves as a wave conductor; the direct wave, which is the straightest and the shortest propagation distance between the transmitter and the receiver; and the earth reflected wave, in which the wave first hits the earth's surface and is then reflected towards the receiver. Next is we will talk about the surface wave. To achieve an optimal propagating result with a surface wave, we must use vertical polarization. So in surface wave we use vertical polarization. That is the reason why long and medium wave radio stations use self-radiating vertical transmitting mast as their antennas. Long surface waves propagate further than medium waves. Medium waves have a range depending on the transmitting power of approximately 200 km by means of ground waves. The field strength of a ground wave decreases rather quickly with increasing frequency. The range of long and medium surface waves is slightly greater than the line of sight distance. They can travel beyond the horizon for some distance. Long and medium waves travel tangential with the Earth's surface, undergo some slowdown in velocity at the point where they touch the Earth. The decrease in velocity is caused by a partial absorption of the radio wave by the Earth. Due to the decrease of velocity, the waves are slightly retarded at the surface and the traveling path curves beyond the horizon. Next, we will talk about the direct and earth reflected wave. So when radio waves travel from the transmitter antenna towards the receiver antenna in a straight line, both antennas are within each other's horizon view. For this situation, we speak about direct waves. As well, the wave can reach the horizon view receiving antenna by an earth reflected path. In this case, the travelling distance and therefore the travelling time will be slightly longer. The direct and the earth reflected signals will be phase shifted relative to each other. Depending on the phase shift, in or out phase, the resulting signal may be stronger or weaker than with only direct waves. Now we'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of ground wave propagation. So first we'll talk about the advantages. So as it uses lower frequencies, interference occurs due to atmospheric noise only. That's why the absorption of EM waves at lower frequencies is less. Hence it can cover longer distances. However, the path loss increases as the distance from the transmitter increases. These waves are more efficient and also these are not affected by the change in atmospheric conditions due to the bending around the corners or obstructions during propagation. They are vertically polarized in order to prevent short circuits of the electric field component. Now we'll talk about the disadvantages. So high frequency waves cannot be transmitted as the energy losses are more because of the absorption of energy in the Earth's atmosphere. These are used to cover short ranges and also involve attenuation of waves as they interact with the eddy currents produced by the surface of the Earth. If the polarization of the ground wave is affected, electric field components are short circuited with the ground. Now let's just take a minute and try to answer these questions. Ground wave is always dash polarized. Ground wave propagation is used for signals up to frequency, and ground wave propagation is also known as what? I hope you got the answer. So ground wave is always vertically polarized. Ground wave propagation is used for signals up to frequency 2 MHz, and ground wave propagation is also known as surface waves. So these are the answers A, B, A. Let's just move forward and talk about sky waves. So sky wave propagation. Sky wave propagation is also known as the skip. It is a type of radio wave propagation. It is either the reflected or refracted waves to the earth from the ionosphere, which is an electrically charged layer of the upper atmosphere. Medium and short wave frequencies can be refracted back to earth, which is beyond the horizon, which makes them useful in the transcontinental transmission of the waves. Sky wave propagation is preferred when the wave has to travel a longer distance. Here the wave is projected onto the sky and it is again reflected back onto the earth. The ionosphere is a region of the upper atmosphere from about 80 km to 1000 km in altitude, where neutral air is ionized by solar photons and cosmic rays. When high frequency signals enter the ionosphere obliquely, they are back scattered from the ionized layer as scatter waves. If the mid-layer ionization is strong enough compared to the signal frequency, a scatter wave can exit the bottom of the layer earthwards as if reflected from a mirror. Next we will talk about the ionospheric layers. So ionosphere is a partially ionized gas which envelops the earth from height varies from 60 km to 1000 km. The ionosphere is a very active part of the atmosphere and it grows and shrinks depending on the energy it absorbs from the sun. So there are mainly 4 layers of ionosphere: D, E, F1 and F2 layers, and in the night time a weak atmosphere layer is identified as C layer. It is observed that different layer has different height ranges. Its structure varies in day and night. Also in night time D layer appears. F1 and F2 layer merge to form single layer F. If you can see here, okay, D, E, F1 and F2. F1 and F2 will merge to form a F layer. The electron density as well as different ion densities is different in different layers. So first we'll talk about the D layer. So this layer lies between 50 and 90 km. So 50 and 90 km heights above the earth. It attenuates high frequency radio waves during daytime. Next we'll talk about the E layer. This layer lies above D layer and will have maximum density up to 110 km. It is governed by UV light from the sun. At night it tends to decay uniformly with time. It is formed without any cause. Often it occurs in cloud forms and varying in size. Its occurrence is unpredictable. It may be observed both in the day and night times. F layer exists above E layer. It is divided into F1 layer and F2 layer. Now we'll talk about the F1 layer part of F layer. So this layer lies above E layer and will have maximum density up to 220 km. Its behavior is similar to E region, which obeys Chapman's law. Critical frequency of this layer ranges from 5 MHz to 7 MHz at noon time, and electron density varies from 2 into 10 raised to 5 to 4.5 into 10 raised to 5. Most of the high frequency waves penetrate through F1 layer while some of them get reflected. It has more absorption capability of high frequency waves. Its density is lower in winter compared to the summer. Next we'll talk about the F2 layer part of F layer. So this layer lies above F1 layer and will have maximum density up to 250 km. It is located at height between 250 km to 400 km. Critical frequency of this layer ranges from 5 MHz to 12 MHz and electron density varies from 3 into 10 raised to 5 to 2 into 10 raised to 6. Now let's just take a minute and try to answer these questions. In which mode of propagation the ionosphere acts as the reflecting surface for the waves? Skywave propagation reflects the frequency in which range, and layers of ionosphere are what? Which are the layers of ionosphere? I hope you got the answers. So in which mode of propagation the ionosphere acts as the reflecting surface for the waves? So that is sky waves, and skywave propagation reflects 2 megahertz to 30 megahertz, and layers of ionosphere are both D and E. I hope you have got the answers. I hope you have understood the concept of ground wave propagation and skywave propagation. Thank you.